Hello and welcome back. Brett here with clickmill.co. Okay, so in this video, I want to talk about what is I've heard called the half-life principle of decision making. I actually really like it. And so I want to address half-life first and just a brief concept from chemistry. If you're not familiar with half-life, it is how long it takes an element to degrade half by half. So, and again, I'm just going to put this into, measures that we can understand. You have maybe like 1 kilogram or 1 pound of, let's say, carbon 14 in the soil. Okay, so carbon 14 is just a type of carbon, I believe a slightly radioactive carbon. I could be wrong on that. Chemistry is not my area. Either way, and let's say you have a pound of it, or there's supposed to be a certain amount at this level in the soil because that's what we've seen. Well, how long does it take it to go from, let's say, 1 pound into a half a pound? Okay, and that's called its half life. And so you can see, then we go from half a pound to quarter pound. Okay, well, there's still some left. Well, about a quarter pound to an eighth a pound. So every time the amount cuts in half, at least with carbon 14, is about something like 7,000 years. And so when they say, oh, well, we dated this to 12,000 years old during the Ice Age or something like that, that is at least in theory, that's at least the theory behind it. Now, there are some elements that, so I don't want to get off on a tangent. At the same time, there are some elements that are more reliable than others with half-life, and some of them are wildly erratic. And so that is a very interesting subject when you talk about carbon dating things to millions of years and looking at the age of the world. There's a lot of, within the Christian scientific community, there would be a lot of kind of perspectives on that. So that's interesting in and of itself. But when we apply the half-life sort of model, again, taking from an area of God's creation and saying, how does this affect my life? Okay, how often do you remake the same decisions? I remember when I heard this and I was like, I don't understand. And the example that was given was making food. Okay. Um, how often do you think about what you eat every day? Well, that's 3 times a day on a normal day. And so then how often do I eat? Well, 3 times a day. So what, I've got 5, maybe 6 hours between meals, and then I'm remaking the same decision. Well, I sat down and my wife and I are talking about this. She's like, well, yeah, it's like we're gonna spend, 20 minutes like, bickering over what we want to eat. And it's like, what do you want to eat? I don't know. What do you want to eat? Well, I'd like to have this. Well, I want this. And then the kids are like, no, 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 we want this. And then, it's like, okay, so we're gonna take some time that's a resource, and we're going to spend that trying to figure out what to eat. And then she's going to have to actually, cook it, or I'll cook it if it's dinner, because I'll cook dinner sometimes. So one of us is cooking it, and that takes at least 30 minutes, if not up to an hour, if it's like a cool or really good meal. And so that's like an hour and 20 minutes a meal. That's 3 hours a day plus. That's 3 hours or more per day just on making food. Well, that's crazy. That's a lot. Is there a way to bring that down? Is it possible to cut that down to make that more manageable? Well, let's just consider this. So if we're redeciding what to eat every 6 hours, how could we just remove that entirely? Because that's 60 minutes a day. I could spend that with my kids doing something fun. We could, build a relationship. I could spend that filming this video and give you some value. But instead, I'm over here thinking about using my mental resources on what to eat. So first thing was, we said, well, why don't we just make a schedule? Okay. And so let's go through this. The kids are going to eat this every morning, this or this. Like they love waffles. They love these things called banana cakes. Okay. So we're just going to make those primary. And if they want something different, then, we'll decide on a weekly basis and we'll just buy for that whole week. And that's breakfast for the week. So the kids get what they like. And it's basically just the same breakfast they like every day. That's also healthy, right? We're trying to optimize for health value here. So organic stuff. I get off topic here. And so when the kids wake up, when my wife's up, when we're all up and moving, she already knows and has everything where it needs to be to go and just make the food. There's no 20-minute decision-making process where the kids are like, I want this, I want this, I want this. We already know what it is. So that is just totally gone. Same thing for lunch. For me, and this is a little extra information. If I eat too much food, I get tired and I cannot function, here at ClickMill. I cannot make video. I'm just like, oh, in Hawaii, I'm in Hawaii, and in Hawaiian Pidgin, they call this a kanak attack. So I have a kanak attack. I eat so much food, I get tired, and I'm just, and I'm gone. It doesn't take that much either. At the same time, if I don't eat lunch, I get low blood sugar, and then I can't function because I can't think because I don't have enough, calories and sugar and stuff. So I need to eat, but I need to eat like a light lunch. And if I eat a light lunch, I can stay focused and not have that afternoon dip. Okay, so this is another factor I'm putting into this. So lunch, it's not just we're going to decide on any lunch. It's going to be a healthy lunch because, I'd like to stick around for a while and hang out with you guys and my family. And also it needs to be a light lunch so that I can optimize my resources throughout the afternoon and not need to like take a nap all afternoon. So what we have is a chicken salad. So we get like just normal organic chicken and put it into a little Caesar salad with a little bit of dressing. And that's lunch every day. And sometimes it'll be like, would you rather have like a beef in it or a chicken in it? It's like, beef today. And that's the extent of it. And it's the same every day. And I love it. And she loves it. And at that point, the kids are at school and that's it. So every day, kids are the same. My wife and I are eating the same lunch. And then for dinner, it's family time and we'll have 5 options throughout the week and we'll make a different thing every night and we'll just pick from the options. And so we allow for a little bickering there and that's, it's fun and we're hanging out with the family and that's time to do it. That's great. Okay, so that is an option, a way to look at this half-life principle, but this is true in your ministry. It's like, what are we going to preach about? It's true in your business. How are we going to do this? When are we going to do this? Or we have to redecide every other day. Find a way to get rid of it. It's a waste of time. It's so easy to just make one decision that makes all of your other decisions for the next 2 weeks or month or year. Like I'm very satisfied with salads for lunch. And as long as that continues to be the case, I'll just eat salads for lunch forever because I'd rather keep that 20 minutes for something else. And again, we're looking at that sacrifice. Am I sacrificing some level of, I wouldn't even say freedom because I can redecide, but am I sacrificing some level of variety for extra time? Yes, but the time is more valuable than, I don't know, making whatever else I could be making. I just don't care that much. And so that is a worthwhile sacrifice for me. And so assess that in your own life. Maybe another example of this for me, and if you're watching this, you may not have realized it yet, but maybe you did. I do not care about the sort of like, and no, it's not that I don't care. It's that I just don't understand it. It is difficult for me when it comes to like style and design. And I'm always hearing about YouTubers and how they care so much about their hair and how do I look? And it's like, I just never really cared. Like, if people are in this course, you're in here and you're going to worry about if my thing matches this other thing, like we're just here for the wrong reasons. So I've just never really cared. But I used to have all of these t-shirts. And then as I started getting into YouTube, it's like, well, I don't want to look ridiculous. How do I even know? And then I'm spending this time and I'm frustrated because I can't match anything anyway. So even though I'm putting in the effort, it's not going to look good. And my wife's like, well, why don't you just because it's like, well, does this match or this match? And now I'm asking her, does this look good or should I do this? And she's like, you could just get a bunch of black shirts. And it's like, well, those are actually my favorite shirts anyway. So I'm going to wear my favorite shirts and I'm just going to get a bunch of them. And every morning I grab a black shirt and then I got like 2 different pairs of colors of shorts and I just grab one and they all match black. And a lot of times I wear a hat, and I don't even have to question, does my hair look good or does it look this way? Doesn't matter. Black shirt, black hat, I'm ready to go. And that cuts down my decision-making process in the morning so that when I come into work and I'm like, what big things do I need to cut? I have that ability to make those decisions because I didn't waste it that morning on, whether I should wear the red shirt with the one thing or the green shirt with the other thing, and it was going to look bad no matter what. So that is another example of half-life. I don't redecide what to wear every day. One person who does this very commonly was Steve Jobs. If you look at him, blue jeans, black shirt in like every picture. And so don't just do these two. There's a gajillion ways you can do this in your life. So go through with your life, with your ministry, and say, what am I doing each day repeatedly that I'm redeciding? And make a system that allows you to stop deciding if it's, if it works, if that's going to help you get some of your life back and some of your resources back. So with that, this is the half-life principle. And maybe I'll just reassert this. I'll do one more. One more. This was probably the biggest one that my wife and I have done in our personal lives is with groceries. Where we're at in Hawaii, we have to drive like into the city, over the mountains and through the woods. And it's a whole day. And if this is the case with you, then you understand it's an entire day of the week. Well, I was like, this is a nightmare. I do not like, Sunday we get out of church and then we go spend the whole day in the city with crowded people with children that, are all over the place and we're trying to shop and it's just exhausting. And we're like, how do we get rid of this? Well, can we order delivery of these groceries? And turns out we could, but we thought it was going to be real expensive. Well, turns out it's $8. And in the US, that's not a lot, $8 because the gas just to get to town and back is $10. So it costs me less money by $2 and an entire day less time to just have someone come and drop it off for me. They shop it, we put it in the cart online, and then the people at the store go shop for us and put the stuff in the baskets, and then they drive it across the island and drop it off on our doorstep, and we pay $8 and we get back an entire, I don't even care about the, I thought it was going to be like $100 a month or something higher or more. Well, I get back a day a week. That's 1/7 of my time. That is a huge amount of time. And so that's 52 days a year. What can you do with 52 days? That is a huge half-life optimization. And now groceries show up every week and we never go to the store. It's the greatest thing ever. So, and then the next thing is, well, how do we even cut out the need to put it in the shopping cart? Well, can you schedule it for like a redelivery? Okay, well, there you go. Now you never shop for groceries and you're just on a subscription plan and groceries show up on your door. If that is something that's an option around you, then you can check that out. That was very surprising. I didn't even know that was a thing. So either way, look at your life and find the things that are taking the most times and they're on repeat. You have a subscription to this decision and then figure out how to make one decision to resolve them all. This is the half-life principle, and this is going to help make your life more effective so you have more time and energy and resources and finances to do the things that are important to you and to God's call in your life. I look forward to seeing you in the very next video.